soup, it was humidity stew. You could see the birds. They weren't flying through it. They were just floating along the humidity. Now, I guess a lot of people would say, well, it's not, you shouldn't really complain about it, you know. Don't complain about it. Those people have zero body fat and they use cucumbers and hummus for a snack. When it's this hot, you got to talk about it. But I've made a promise. I won't complain so much about it. And if I complain about it, at least if I'm going to complain about the humidity, I should praise the AC. Praise the AC. I think people in Florida, you know, we go around and we have pictures of our pets and children on our phones. I think we ought to have pictures of our air conditioner units on our phones. Get out and talk about them. You know, look at this model. Yeah. Now, in all things, try to find a blessing. So here in the hottest part of the summer, I'm actually enjoying getting up early to take Sadie out on her walk so I can get a jump on the bugs and the humidity. And I'm really enjoying being out in the neighborhood where people haven't started moving yet, and it's very tranquil. It's rather peaceful. I've also, this week, written out and got some really good bird seeds. So I've put them in one of our bird feeders that we hadn't been using. So now I have all the birds from the neighborhood coming around to our bird feeder. So in this heat and humidity, I'm enjoying what I can, and then I'm looking forward to when we are going to have cooler weather. The second week of November should be about right. And when we do this, when we put ourselves in this kind of attitude of being grateful for what we have, working on what's right in front of us, looking forward to something better, we're opening up energies of healing and enlightenment and creativity that can really lead us to every good thing in life. And to be in that place, we don't have to get all saintly. Because I'm not going to get saintly at any point in my life. I'm not even going to get into the zip code of saintly. So right now, right where I am with this mended and cracked vessel, Spirit has to pour all the blessings of life, the joy that life has to offer in this vessel that I am. Because that's the promise. That's the promise. The Spirit will pour into my vessel, shaken down and overflowing. And that when I do the best I can with what I'm given, more will come along. I'll receive more. Because if it doesn't happen now, when will it happen? If not now, then when? When I die? In the next lifetime? You see, that's an old trick. That's the old trick, to hold off our good till tomorrow. But tomorrow never comes. It's always tomorrow. So if not now, then when? Kind of like the old Richard Pryor skit. Remember Richard Pryor? He used to have probably one of the funniest people ever born. But he had a skit where he would talk about when he was a teenager, and he'd go out to be with his friends, and his dad would tell him, now you be home at 11:30 and bring me a newspaper when you come home. That was the other thing. But you be home at 11:30. So Richard would go out, and there was all the guys out in the neighborhood hanging out. And he said, what are we going to do tonight? The guys would say, oh, we're going to have a blast. We're going to go carousing. We're going to go gambling. We're going to go drinking. We're going to go chase some women. We're going to have lots of fun. And Richard would be like, well, when are we going to do it? The guys would say, 11:30. That's when we're going to start. 11:30. So we can't hold off. We got to tell ourselves, now is the time. Now is the time for my blessing. Crooks and nannies and all. Now is the time for Spirit to rain down upon me the joys and the blessings and the love, the health and prosperity. Now is my time, and I am ready. There's only one source, one substance, and it is Spirit. And it answers every request. Our issue becomes that we make a request. I'm ready for my health. I'm ready for my prosperity. And then we turn on the news and we hear them talk about the tariffs threatening the economy. You go to the gym and you realize you're one of the oldest people there. And you start telling yourself, well, old people don't get better. People my age don't improve. Now, see, that's a request too. That's a request to Spirit as well. It's just opposite of my desire. And Spirit will answer that request as easily as it will answer my request for my health. Now, we can't beat ourselves up over this because we're human and we always do it. And that's why it's called a practice. It's something we're working toward. So if we want to experience prosperity, we put thoughts in our minds that reflect prosperity. And we do that with greater enthusiasm than our habitual thoughts of lack and limitation. Habitual thoughts do have energy, but they're not anywhere as powerful as deliberate thoughts. So when we catch ourselves having the habitual thoughts of negativity, you want to switch over to something positive. And in doing so, you open up a floodgate of blessing. When you do that, when you catch yourself in that negativity and switch it over to something positive, you've placed yourself into a vortex of power, a vortex of creativity. And what you do is you have all that energy that was flowing to the negative. You're now matching it by the natural energy of the universe, which is towards positive, which is towards creativity, which is towards health. And so you've doubled your effort. You're in a powerful and wonderful place. All I am and all I choose to express and experience is a co-creative process in the divine. Co-creative process in the divine. So I want to decide, what is it that God or the divine wishes to experience through me? And then I want to put my good attention and efforts towards that, so that I can become a co-creator of my good with Spirit. Because this is the only reason we're here. This is the only reason you come to planet Earth, so that you might experience being a co-creator with God for your health, for your love, for your joy, for your happiness, for your prosperity. This is the water from which we'll drink from the well, we'll thirst no more. This is the whole purpose of the game. The car and the relationship, the health, and all of that are just the little tokens we move around the board so we can keep track of where we are. It's being in relationship with Spirit is why we are here in the first place. Kennedy used to say all the time, the more you get, the less you'll want. Because it's not the getting at all. It's the relationship with Spirit that is what we want. So we want to have that co-creation. And we don't need another course. We don't need another book. We don't need another guru. We have everything we need to experience all the good that anyone has ever experienced. Here, now, in this moment, as we are. As we are. We are Spirit approved for greatness, for love, for health and prosperity, for doing something meaningful. And it begins first in our thinking. The first step is, I am ready. I'm ready just as I am. I am ready. I have what it takes to lead a powerful and dynamic life. And me doing it will be not only just good for myself, it'll be good for the world. It'll be good for everyone. And knowing this is the nature of my being, and I move forward in life with confidence in a direct manner, realizing that what I want is what God knows for me. What God knows for me. Any idea you've ever had for love, health, joy is an idea that Spirit first had, and then it thought of you. Spirit thought of the idea and then thought of you. So it's God ordained. And in a sense, it is God inspired. There's a way for it to manifest in your life in an easy and joyful way. Now, it doesn't mean that there's not going to be some work involved, but it can manifest if you'll get out of your own way and let the power and glory of Spirit flow through you. Anything that can happen for anyone can happen for you if you'll put your faith and trust and work on the idea. You know, just this week, I heard that Apple is the first American company that is worth now $1 trillion. $1 trillion. I guess it's been 30 or 40 years ago since Steve Jobs was running around a college campus. Now, who would have looked at that guy 40 years or more ago and thought, all right, this guy who's a dropout, he's only interested in calligraphy, LSD, and meditation. He's a social misfit, had no social skills at all. First of all, he didn't use deodorant. That would have been a big no for me. He was convinced that if all he ate was fruit, he wouldn't need deodorant. Yeah, you do. We'll go buy you some, actually. No social skills. The one thing he had a vision for the future. He had aesthetics. He knew how things would look, and he had an idea, and he was willing to work towards it. And from all of that, this trillion-dollar history-making company has come about. He had an idea, and spirit was flowing through him. If he can make that happen, you can make anything happen. You can create anything. We can do it. Something just that amazing when we believe in ourselves and when we know that we have a partnership with spirit, and when we start moving on it. We start moving on it. Follow the divine urge of your dreams and desires, intuitive callings with faith and trust. It's up to me to know my success. And it's up to me to get excited about it. If I'm excited about my success, spirit will be too. And I've got to believe it's possible. And it can't be just something like winning the lottery. It has to be a concrete idea that I can believe in, get excited about, and work about. And it's something that will not only just help me, but help the entire world. In your handout this morning, there's a quote from Ray Bradbury. He said, you've got to jump off cliffs all the time and build your wings on the way down. Build your wings. And the reason we can jump is because we know Spirit guides us and supports us. And that's how we can jump to our success. So this morning, I'm ready to know myself as good, as a part of something larger, as an outlet of power and creativity and joy, as something affirming for myself and those around me. I'm ready to have meaning in my life. I'm ready for purpose. I'm ready to make a difference. I'm ready to be wrapped in the loving arms of Spirit. As I told you, I got out the bird seed feeder the other day, and I went and got the good bird food, and so I put it in. Now from 5 blocks over, all the birds are showing up. And guess what happens when the birds show up? The squirrels show up. The squirrels show up. But I was smarter than the squirrels. I went and got a squirrel-proof bird feeder, and then I got one of the hooks that has the little round thing on it so the birds can't crawl up. I was all right, I'm ready for you, squirrels. I put it in the ground, got back in the house, cleaned up, sat down on the sofa, looked out. Mr. Squirrel was sitting on top of the bird feeder. Yeah. Squirrels 1, Ken 0. But the battle is on, I'm ready for them. The game is on. Now, regardless of the personal battle I may be having with the squirrels and the feeder, that effort on my part is helping the world. It's helping the birds. It helped me bring a little bit more of interest and beauty and givingness to my life. It helped remind me that I can make life a little more beautiful, to have a sense of wonder and enchantment in life. It even's helping the squirrels because they're becoming more active and more smarter and more resourceful. And all it took was bird seed. That's all it took. So there's a seed of joy and happiness and health and prosperity that wants to be born in your life. And when you believe you're ready for it, the very angels of creativity will fly from the minds of God to help you out. Dr. Holmes said, the founder of our teaching, he said, unseen hands will reach out to guide us when we know that we are ready for all of Spirit's blessings and joy. When we break the bonds of fear, doubt, and separation. When we hold to our hearts God's passions and dreams for us. When we see ourselves as Spirit sees us, courageous in the face of confusion, bold in the defense of love, and willing to bring joy and beauty to life. You know, this morning, I don't have an answer to all the nonsense that's, and some pure meanness that seems to be infecting our world today. And I can't, but I have a decision to make. I can choose to stay obsessed with it all, and it's very easy to do that. Or I can say to Spirit, all right, God, I'm ready for something better. I'm ready for a kinder world, a gentler world, a love with more love and compassion, with more concern with children and education, more helpful to teachers and parents, more respectful of people trying to make a difference. And then I can put my hands to work doing the best I can to make that a reality. And maybe buying school supplies. I'm so grateful to see the stage just packed with all these supplies. It can be changing my viewpoint so I can see the world as peaceful and tranquil, or just making the world a little bit better. Or it can be sending out prayers of healing and love to those who need it and those who are causing so much confusion. And when that becomes a firm conviction that regardless of the humidity, in spite of the squirrels, I am powerful, I am good, I am ready. So Spirit, you are my co-creator, so let's get to work to make this world a better place, to create heaven on earth this moment, in this time, and in this place, because we are up to it. It's ours to do, and there's nothing that can stop us when we know we have the power of love, of creativity, and joy flowing through us. It's the truth in your life this morning. It's the truth in mine, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Bob, what you got for us? Thank you, guys. So now we come to the time we support ourselves, and we support this center because this place is doing really good stuff in the world, and your support is allowing that to happen. So if you will take your offering, there it is. And if you're on an automatic debit campaign, just place your hand over your heart and